Okay, so first I'm going to start here on the feet, and I usually tell the client, let me know if you want more or less pressure as I go, especially with a deep tissue. So, well, with any of them. Okay, if they're not that tall, I'll get on the table to do the walk up the legs. You're really tight, Hugo, just so you know. Yeah, you are. How's that pressure?
Good.
Okay. You let me know if you want more or less as I go.
Okay.
This goes across the back because usually things correspond as far as, tightness goes. And it's a good way to check in and see where, the person's at. And I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Cool.
That sounded beautiful. Oh, that sounded.
That was me. Sometimes it cracks. Right. Yeah. And then I'm going to go ahead and just, my cat taught me this. I'm just letting you know. Ooh, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
He's really tight around the rhomboids. Do a little squeeze on top. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just put some pressure on the sacrum. And I'm stretching this down and this up from here. I don't want to do it too high because I don't want to stretch the upper body that way, but just right there in the middle and at the sacrum. Gonna do the same thing on this side. Sometimes the back does pop, but people appreciate it. His isn't going nowhere. That's just, depending on who you're working on. So I do a lot of work over the sheet. And like I said, you guys don't have to. I'm just giving you a demo of what I do. Okay, from here I'm going to do some shiatsu. So I usually target like right here first, right at the sub-ox. And then right here is the occiput. Okay, then I'm gonna go down the neck. I'm getting this, the lateral scalenes. Now, some people just do, static pressure, but I like to, feel what's happening. So it just makes me feel like, I got a better idea of how tight or what's going on in the neck. From there, I'm going to go ahead and press down right at the top of the traps. And I'm using the heel of my hands to do it. And then I'm going to continue to shiatsu right here. Now, depending on whether or not this is a deep tissue or not, is how deep I'm going to go. Because, you can, I'm going pretty deep on him, but, not crazy. But if this was a Zentastic, I would be doing this much lighter.
So when a person gets a Zentastic, is it like automatically assumed it's full body?
Yeah. Most of our massages are full body unless they say just work here.
And it's still like up to the client, like they're customizing.
Yeah, we're customizing what they want. Usually I would ask, okay, do you want to get stretched out during this? What kind of pressure do you want? When was the last time you had a massage? Especially if they're getting a deep tissue. So if they tell me it was a year ago, I'm going to tell them I'm going to start out lighter than, what I would normally do. So right now I'm working into the infraspinatus. And then right here is that fossa, that where the muscle attaches. And then over here, and then I'm gonna jump right here to the sides where he's really tight in these rhomboids. Most people are. Actually, I'm gonna go over here just one more time. And then over here, I'm getting into the subscaps. Some people, if they're ticklish, you're not going to do this one. Just saying. Okay. And now I'm going to go along the spine. Double thumbing it. Some people like to do shiatsu up one side and down the other, which is okay. You can or cannot use the shiatsu if you don't want to. But this is a good way to open up the back. Okay, and then I'm gonna go over here across the ilium. Then I'm gonna go over here, and this is pretty much where the gluteus medius muscle is. And then I'm gonna, get off me. Yeah, good nap. Okay, and then I'm gonna go into the sacral holes in the sacrum. And then I'm gonna go around here. There. Then I'm gonna come up here and I'm just gonna do a little bit on the arms. I'm just gonna do some pressure points. There. How you doing? You still with us, man? Okay. How's this feeling?
Good.
Okay, good. Yeah. So that's pretty much the warm up. Okay.
Okay, go.
Okay, so you can see where I've been. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a myofascial release. So I'm gonna go ahead and use pretty much prayer hands and just take the heels of my hands around the pisiform and just glide down the back. And this is really good because it gets the circulation going where you can see it. And most people really like this. And it might be a little too deep for a Zentastic person. If they want lighter massage, don't do this one. Okay, and then I'm gonna just use the palms. So it's a broader stroke.
That's still shiatsu because there's no lotion, right?
This is myofascial release.
Myofascial, okay.
Yeah. Some people like to use the myofascial release primarily over the whole body.
Right.
I don't do that because most people want to feel lotion and it's really intense. So this is our Biotone massage cream. It's for deep tissue. Well, it's multi-purpose with the ivy extracts. That's what we use for deep tissue primarily. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and, damn, you're hot, dude. Do you want the heating thing down? I got it on low. You good?
It's a hot day.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna effleurage. Do some knuckling. Do some stripping. Okay, and if it's an hour, I'm only going to do one side at a time. If it's a 90, I'll do both sides pretty much. Well, you'll know. Yeah. Gonna petrissage his shoulder. Then I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna go ahead and do a cross fiber. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and strip down. Some people like elbow, but usually when I do the thumb thing, this is deep enough. Is this deep enough for you?
Yes.
There.
Now, Joe, we didn't talk about my nails, but no one felt my nails when I gave a massage. Oh, you feel me? Sorry.
Oh. We'll talk about that after.
Okay.
How's that feel? Okay, then right here, I'm gonna go ahead and just do a little bit more cross fiber over the traps and the rhomboids. Sometimes I just kind of do circles here, just to get it warmed up before I go in there and really do some pressure. Strip one more time. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the arm, I'm gonna put it here, and I'm gonna go ahead and strip down the body while the erectors are all stretched out. Then I'm gonna go in here again. Sometimes you gotta be careful because some people it's just like, okay, that's real deep when you do this move right here. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay, here I'm gonna go ahead and get in here a little bit more. I'm gonna go ahead and petrissage a little deeper while I have his, I'm holding his arm. Relax the arm, dude. Okay, there it is. Okay, and then I'm gonna do more pressure in here.
Okay, there's your arm. Okay.
Okay, and then right in here, I'm gonna work on the infraspinatus again, and then I'm just gonna kind of glide into the subscat. Okay, then what I'm gonna do is back up a little bit, stretch out the arm, and just milk the forearm, stretch out the fingers. Go at the epicondyle and stretch here. You good? Okay. And then I'll just go ahead and get the arm loosened up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and stretch it and put it right there. Okay, can you cut it for a sec?